All right, boys and girls. Oh, dang it. Don't look at that. All right. Let's get through our last video. I'm feeling a lot better today, actually. I'm still a little fatigued and stuff, but congested, but I'm not as achy. Yeah, we're doing a lot better, aren't we, baby girl? So this will be the last video we have to make. And then I'll be back in on Monday because I won't be in isolation anymore. Yeah. And like I said, we're going to practice all of these things more on Monday and next week. Yeah, because this was unfortunate, wasn't it? Yes, it was. So we're going to practice all of these things and make sure we're all experts. Today, we're going to finish out topic one. Like I said, we go through topic one pretty quickly here. It's the fastest one we're going to do this whole year. Yeah. And we're actually going to do an FRQ today. Now, we're not going to do the entire FRQ because there's some skills they ask for you to do that are a little beyond us so far. But we're going to get through a good chunk of an FRQ, like an actual part of the AP exam that you might possibly see. So the one from 2012. All right, so yesterday we talked about utility, and we said that, not everything comes boiled down to money. When we looked at that example of the lady flipping hamburgers, but could also be an accountant, right? She was making a choice. She chose to flip hamburgers, even though economically it was less than rational, right? Cost benefit analysis says that she should be renting out the building and working as an accountant, but she doesn't like numbers. And so she decides to flip hamburgers instead. And that's where utility comes into play, because economics is a social science, right? And so we looked at the utility of ice cream. We measure in oodles, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're never going to have to pronounce it. But utility units, right? Just totally made up units that are arbitrary. They're based off of your happiness, how much benefit you're getting from something. Yeah, how much demand you're going to have for that thing. And so we count it by margin. There's total and margin. The total is just the absolute amount each scoop of ice cream, where we are after each scoop of ice cream. The margin is the difference between each steps. And that way, if we can track the steps, the difference between each steps, we can know if we should go from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. And later on, this is going to be important. Margin is going to be very important. Well, look what you did. Very important when we're trying to figure out, like, should we make the next thing? Should we hire an additional person, right? Or should we lay somebody off? That sort of stuff. Can I do this? All right. And we looked at that. Law of diminishing utility. Eventually, this is always going to come in. We're going to see diminishing returns all the time throughout the year. Oh, yeah, we get less and less and less as things go on. All right. Now, let's talk about this one. This is new. This is brand new stuff. So comparing the marginal utility of goods. What if we're not just looking at one thing? What if we're not just looking at ice cream? What if we have two different goods, right? And so here you can just pause for a second and answer in what do you notice? What do you notice comparing these two goods? So just pause for a second, look at the numbers, look at the quantities, and think about it. All right, I'm going to assume none of you paused, and I'm just going to keep talking. So we notice that we have chocolate bars and fruit, and chocolate bars are probably a singular unit. Fruits are in pounds, right? So fruit could be maybe a mixed thing. Who cares? Yeah. Quantities are 1 through 4, so that's the same. So we're looking at 4 chocolate bars up to 4 pounds of fruit. Marginal utility. Chocolate bars, 180, 60, 40. Over here, 120, 150, 20. So right off the gate, you're like, wow, whoever this person is, whoever this person is, they really like fruit. They like fruit more than chocolate bars. They should be buying more fruit than chocolate bars. But we actually don't have all the information, right? If you've gone to the store ever, especially if you've gone to the store in the last year or so, you know that chocolate bars and fruit cost money, and those prices can vary wildly. So we don't have all the information yet. God, you stink. You're just a stinker. Okay, so let's add in some money. What if chocolate bars cost $1 per bar and fruit costs $2 per pound? Now we should be able to fill in this chart, and what we're basically trying to do is trying to take two different items that have two different costs, and we're looking at how much happiness we get, how much benefit we get from them, right? So we're looking at chocolate. You're being very loud. We're looking at chocolate bars and fruit, and we're saying, okay, well, we get this much benefit from chocolate bars, we get this much benefit from fruit, but fruit costs $2 per pound. It's more expensive, and chocolate bars only cost $1. So those are two different items with two different amounts of happiness that we can get from them, and they have two different prices. How can we possibly compare apples to oranges or, apples to chocolate bars. How can we possibly compare these two things? Well, we basically just do a simple ratio. Just strip them down to the same dollar amount. How much happiness do you get per dollar? All right, this is something else that economists would do. How much benefit are we getting for each dollar? What's the bang for our buck? And you want to maximize your bang for your buck, right? You want to maximize your happiness. Yeah. So you're trying to think about what's going to get you the most amount of happiness for the least amount of money. All right, how do we do that? Well, we take the marginal utility. I don't know why there's a little dash through that, but it should be a C and that should be an F. But you take the marginal utility and you divide it by the price. 100 divided by 1 is, do you know? No, it's 100. 80 divided by 1 is 80. 60 divided by 1 is 60. 40 divided by 1, you're getting the idea, right? So we're just dividing by 1. Now this is where it gets a little more complicated. Super complicated math here. What? Yeah, that's a joke. It's not complicated. Here, the marginal utility for the first pound of fruit is 120, but that's for $2, right? Because fruit costs $2 per pound. So how much is it per dollar? Well, it's 60, because 120 divided by 2, so marginal utility divided by 2, right? It gives us 60. And then we'd have 50, 25, and 10. Yay! So hopefully you guys can figure that out. That's not hard. That's not tricky, is it? This is going to be tricky. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. All right, let's do the tricky bit. So, all right. You've got $5 for your allowance, and you're a weird kid. When you get your $5, you run right to Kroger, and you can buy chocolate bars, and you can buy pounds of fruit, and that's the only thing that you have any interest in buying ever in the entire world. So, you go to buy you spend your $5. How are you going to do it? And you want to be the most rational, strange kid in the world. Well, here's how you do it. You figure out what you're going to do with each one of your dollars. Yeah, because now we have this down in terms of dollars. Now, we're also going to assume that we can't split things up, that fruit's only sold by the pound. They could give you an example where you could do like fractions of things, but that would be obnoxious, and they're not going to do that on your AP exam. I mean, is that realistic? Probably not, but I mean, in this example, we're just going to assume you can't split your pounds in half, and that'll be important. Just hold that in your thoughts. That's going to come up later. All right, so you have $5. What do you do with your first dollar you do? Well, you look at it and say, well, what's my marginal utility per dollar? How much benefit can I get for every dollar? Well, a chocolate bar, that first chocolate bar, I will get 100 utils. I will get 100 benefit, whatever that is to you. I will get 100 benefit from that. But that first pound of fruit, right? If I spend $1 on fruit, the most I can get is 60, right? So that'd be 60. Well, I look at it and say, well, if my dollar can get me 100 or my dollar can get me 60, which one am I going to do? Which one am I going to do? Well, I'm going to go with 100 because 100's a bigger number. So I would buy the 100. And I would get that one right there. And then I would say, okay, that's my first dollar. So my first dollar goes to a chocolate bar. And we'll just pretend to circle that because I don't have a smart board anymore. Yeah. Second dollar. Well, second dollar. Now the numbers are a little different. The quantity 1 of the chocolate bar, that's gone. I already did that. So now if I want to get a chocolate bar, that 100 is not in question anymore. Now the next step up is the 80. So I have my second dollar. What do I do with it? Well, I could get 80 utility for a chocolate bar, or I could get 60 utility. I could spend that utility money on fruit and get 60. Well, 80 is more than 60. So I would go with the chocolate bar. So my second dollar would be to buy another chocolate bar because 80 is still more than 60. Yes. Yes. Now, third dollar. So now we're up to $3. What am I going to do? Well, now we have a choice to make. And it doesn't actually matter because these questions, this one I probably stole from College Board, these questions are always derived that as long as you're following the right logic, they'll always work out. Your third dollar, you look here and you will say, I could get my third chocolate bar. My marginal utility per dollar would be 60. Yeah. Or I could buy my first pound of fruit, or half a pound of fruit rather, and that would be 60, right? So my dollar over here would also get me 60. 60 is the same as 60. Oh no, what do we do, baby girl? We gotta make a decision. It doesn't matter. There's honestly no one way or the other. You feel exactly the same about chocolate, the third chocolate bar, sorry, as you do as your first half pound of fruit. All right? It does not matter which one you do. Now, I will always do this because it's simple, and this is the way I did it when I was in college. I just stick with what I was already doing. So I bought a chocolate bar, bought a chocolate bar. My third dollar, I'm going to buy that chocolate bar. You could do it this way, and if you want, I'll work it back and show you how it doesn't matter here in a second. All right. Let's say our third dollar goes to this chocolate bar, 180, 60. I'm maximizing my utility here. Now I have $2 left, right? My fourth and my fifth dollar. What am I going to do with those? Well, my fourth chocolate bar would only get me 40 units of happiness for a dollar. So my fourth dollar, if I bought a chocolate bar, would only get me 40. I look over here at fruit and I say, 60 is more than 40. 60 is more than 40. Isn't it, baby girl? It is. So 60 is more than 40. So now I'm going to buy fruit. So I take my fourth dollar and I go to buy fruit. Now so I take my fourth dollar over here. Now let's say I can buy a half pound of fruit. I could just buy the 60 there, and then I would spend my next fifth dollar. Where would it go? Well, it would be to buy the other half of that fruit at 60. But usually they're going to say you can't do fractional stuff here. So we're just going to say my fourth and fifth dollars, $2, go here. Each one of those dollars gets me 60 units of happiness, or 120 total. Because the quantity one of fruit, we're saying that you can't split up that pound, right? So that quantity one, in order to get this, I have to drop $2. Yeah, I have to drop $2. And so that $2 actually would end up netting me 120. All right. And now I've spent all 5 of my dollars, and I've done it in the most rational way possible. The most rational thing for this kid to do is to buy 3 chocolate bars and 1 pound of fruit. And now they've spent all their money. Now let's backtrack a second. Let's say, oh, Miss Malcolm, what if we didn't buy a chocolate bar third? What if we bought fruit third because it's the same? All right, yeah, we could do that. So first dollar is 100 more than 60. Second dollar, 80 more than 60. Cool. And then third dollar, I'm going to go over here and buy fruit. But my third and fourth dollar would have to go to buy fruit, right? Because my third and fourth dollar, yeah, because it costs $2 to buy fruit. So my third and fourth dollar would go over here. Third dollar 60, fourth dollar 60. So third and fourth are netting me 120 total. My fifth dollar, then my last dollar, what would be more, 50 or 60? Well, my fifth dollar would then go over here to the 60. So I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always just stick with the one I just purchased last when we're bouncing around, and we're going to see that again here in a minute when we're doing an FRQ. It does not matter. If you do it one way, if you like bouncing around, that's fine. It does not matter, okay? That's all there is to it. So, end result, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As long as you came up with somewhere along there, you're in the right place. So, end result, the marginal utility per dollar of chocolate bars should be as close as possible as the marginal utility. They should be equal to each other, right? That should be. What are you doing? You're dropping that stuff again. Yeah, they should be equal to each other. What's that called in algebra? Where the two things are? An identity. They should be an identity. Yeah, they should be equal to each other basically. So each side of it should be the exact same. So in reality, that's not going to happen, especially if you can't do fractionals. But if you could buy things by the penny, right? So by the penny weight, ideally you would be able to buy things and get them exactly down to where your marginal utility per dollar over here is exactly equal to your marginal utility per dollar over here. So we're just balancing it out. I know it seems like a weird thing. You will get FRQs that ask you to do this, and I'm going to show you one here, and we're going to do another one in class next week. We're also going to apply this concept later on when we're doing cost optimization, and we're trying to figure out when should we hire another person versus when should we hire another machine. And we're going to try to buy another machine, and we're going to figure out basically the same exact equation, pretty much exact same equation, just slightly different numbers. And we're going to say like, hey, when does the efficiency of this person balance out with the efficiency of this machine, and like when you're based off cost, right? It's the same idea. So anyways, we're going to do some more practice with these because they do show up on your FRQs. They're pretty easy though, honestly. If you get one of these on your AP exam, thank your lucky stars. All right, so this is the FRQ from 2022. We're only going to do the top part of it. So here was the actual FRQ free response packet. You can find all of these online, and trust me, we're going to do tons of these examples throughout the year. pretty much all of them. We're going to do pretty much all of the released ones before you take the exams. This is why the kids do well in AP Econ. We work on this stuff. Anyways, here's the actual question. So I'm not joshing you or anything. I steal a lot of the stuff from the College Board just to give you examples of what we're actually going to see in the real world. So this one is another weird kid. Oh, sorry, still a little sick. This kid, Teresa. Yeah, Teresa gets $11 for their. Are you waving? Teresa gets $11 for her allowance, and Teresa's a weird kid because she only likes bagels and toy cars. Yeah, you're drooling a lot. So bagels and toy cars. Yeah. So the table above shows Teresa's marginal utility. Quantity of bagels, 1 through 6. Quantity of cars, 1 through 6. Marginal utility. Now, always keep an eye that it says marginal utility. That means they're already giving us these steps, right? So at 0 bagels, she had 0 utility. But then when she went from 0 to 1, she got 8. 8 oodles, doodles, whatever you want to call them. She got 8 things, 8 units of happiness. And then the second one brought on an additional 7, right? And then the third one brought on an additional 6, and then the fourth an additional 5, and so on and so forth. And over here for toy cars, it's still marginal utility. So margin means the next step. Remember that. That's going to be very important this year. 0 was 0. The first one brought on 10. The second one brought on an additional 8. Ugh. All right, and then if you can remember that, because sometimes they'll give you total, sometimes they'll give you marginal, make sure you're reading the question and understanding the terms that they're trying to get you to think about. The table above shows it. What is her total utility from purchasing 3 toy cars? So, if she buys 3 toy cars, what is her total utility? Well, the first toy car gave her 10 utility, right? So that's easy. The second toy car gave her 8 utility. Well, what's 10 plus 8? 18. So if she buys 2 toy cars, she has 18 total happiness units. Total utility, 18 whatevers. But then we need to go up to 3, so she buys the third one. The margin there is 6. So 18 plus 6 is what, baby girl? What's 18 plus 6? 24. Very good. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So she has 24 total utility from buying 3 cars. Hopefully you guys are figuring that out. That's the easy question. Yeah, this is an actual exam question, by the way. Yeah, kids got college credit for counting to 20 to 4. Yeah. All right, now it's going to get trickier. Teresa's weekly income is $11. The price of a bagel is 2, and the price of a toy car is 1. What quantity of bagels and toy cars will maximize Teresa's utility if she spends her you want to stand up, don't you? If she spends her entire weekly income on bagels and toy cars? Yeah. Explain your answer using marginal analysis. All right. So pause this video here for a second, and you see here where it says draw on the slide. Pause the video and fill in the slide. Fill in all the answers so that we'll be able to figure out the answer. Do you think they actually paused it? Do you think they did it? I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I don't think they did. Okay, let's hope they paused the video. All right. So I just copied and moved this over here. But Teresa's weekly income, $11. Price of a bagel's 2. Price of a toy car is 1. How can we possibly do that? Well, remember what we just did with chocolates and fruits. That's what we're going to do here. So toy cars are easy because that gives us the marginal utility already. And all we have to do is divide by 1. So you just take those numbers and fill them into the chart. So 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2. 10, 8, 4, 6, 4, 3, 2. So pretty easy right there. Bam, 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 bam. Bagels you have to do some very hard math with. Yeah, because bagels cost $2. And so we have to take that number and divide it by 2. Oh no. So 8 divided by 2, 4. 7 divided by 2. Oh no. Oh no, baby girl. We can't divide 7 by 2. Yeah, you just say 3.5. 3, 2.5, 2, and 1.5. So all you have to do is take marginal utility per dollar. That's all we're trying to do for marginal analysis is marginal utility per dollar. All right. Once you fill in that chart, then we do the exact same thing we just did with our chocolate bars, and with our fruit, right? But now we're just doing it with toy cars and bagels. She has $11. Where is she going to throw each one of her dollars? Her first dollar could be spent. want to chew on my Xbox controller? Yeah, you do that. Chew on my Xbox controller. All right. So her first dollar could be spent on bagels or toy cars, but she would get 10 utility for that toy car versus 4 for the bagel. First dollar goes to the toy car. Second dollar could go towards, second dollar now. Okay, so she can't get this 10 utility anymore. She already got that first toy car. She's so happy with that one. How much happiness would she get from a second toy car? She would get 8. 8 or 4. So is she buying a bagel yet, or is she going to buy a toy car? Well, 8 is more than 4, so she's going to buy a toy car. Once again, only costs $1. Sometimes it helps, by the way, if you're doing this on paper, to keep, and usually when I would do this in class, I would keep a running tally on the chalkboard, and I would just write each dollar due down so I would keep track of how much money we're spending. So first toy car is gone. What? Oh yeah, you're just being a stinker. And the second toy car is $8, so that's $2 or 8 utilities. So that's $2 down. Now our third dollar, where does it go? Well, 6 or 4. Well, 6 or 4. So we're gonna spend the $6. We're gonna spend our third dollar on the 6 utility here, right? And then the fourth dollar comes around. So now our fourth dollar, we have a choice to make. We could either get a toy car for 4 utility per dollar, or we could get a bagel for 4 utility per dollar. Once again, it does not matter. I usually just stick with the last one I purchased just because I like to keep things straight that way, and it just is a simple system. But it will not matter the way they make these questions out. There's only ever one right answer, and you'll get to it either way. All right? So, $1, $2, $3, $4, I'm going to spend over here on a toy car. Now, fifth dollar. Fifth dollar, I have a choice. I could get 3 or I could get 4. Well, I'm probably going to go with the 4. So, fifth and $6 buy me my first bagel. Fifth dollar is $4, 4 utility. $6 is 4 utility, and I have that right there. So I've now spent $6. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where's my seventh dollar going to go? 3.5 or 3? Well, my $7 is going to get 3.5. So I add that on there. My $8 is also going to have to go to that bagel. So now I've spent, how much money have I spent? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now what do we do? Well, now we have a choice again. We could buy a bagel or we buy a toy car. I always stick with the last one I bought. I just bought a bagel. So I'm going to go 9, 10 for that 3. And then I jump down here for the $11 is going to go here for that 3 because 3 is more than 2.5. Marginal analysis, what am I trying to... I will continue to purchase until those two numbers are equal to each other. All right, as close as possible until I run out of money in this case. But as close as possible as those marginal, utilities per dollar are equal to each other. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's the end goal. So remember, that's an identity, I think, is what the algebra term is. If I'm wrong about that, don't tell your math teachers; they'll beat me up. So if you could buy the pennyweight, blah, 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 you want to get to this. That's what we're trying to get to. And so we started out with 10 and 4, and here we are now getting down to 2.5 and 3 and stuff. We're getting much closer, and that's the goal. We're trying to get those differences as close as possible. Yeah. Yeah. We can't answer the rest of that FRQ question because it's stuff that we haven't done yet, right? A lot of it's Unit 2 and stuff later on. I want you guys to try doing this one. Yeah, do you think they can do it? With the rest of your time on class on Friday, I want you guys to try working on this one on your own, okay? Yes, I know I have answers and stuff, but don't look at the answers. Work on it on your own, and then on Monday, we're going to probably take a look at this together and do some housekeeping stuff. So once again, I apologize for being out this week. Positive COVID test is a real kick in the butt, and then I was really sick. So anyways, we made it work. The rest of the year is going to be really easy compared to this. And Elise, can you say goodbye? You say bye-bye? So no, I am angry. I'm a hatred baby over here. Look at this. Look at this devil spawn. Say bye-bye. You wait bye-bye? You wait bye-bye? No. So I have no bye-byes. I love you too, baby girl. All right. See you all next week, children.